Batman v Superman came out, and it's kind of all over the place, honestly. Definitely moments that I enjoyed, definitely moments that I did not, and let's talk about it. There's going to be another different type of review. If you're trying to see a spoiler-free review, I have it right here. Go ahead and click that. Check that out. Watch the movie, decide for yourself if you like it or didn't like it. There's plenty of things that you can nitpick about this movie, and let's get into it. Okay, starting off, let's go with the positive. Batman was dope. It was so good. It was so enjoyable. That scene near the end where he's saving Martha Kent was so good. Literally, that was the scene I was talking about in my spoiler-free review, where it's just like that scene by itself was worth my money. It was literally worth my money. That's something I always wanted to see, just Batman just beat the crap out of him. And I love that they took that one line straight out of this when he goes, "I believe you." It was so good. Just shot the dude. Let's get into the whole premise that why the hell is Batman using guns? I think they cut out the motivation. They kind of hinted at it that the reason Batman's using guns is that Robin died and he's become just sick and tired of Gotham. He has to become a little bit more brutal, and he's justifying him he's justifying himself. That's why he calls himself a criminal near the beginning of the movie. I think that they edited that out, and that is something that kind of bothered the shit out of me, honestly. Batman is Batman, and I like him because he doesn't kill. I really, really, really like that about him. And because that makes it more difficult. It's more difficult to just beat the crap out of someone, to simply kill someone. It's easier, so it makes him more of a hero in my mind. Superman, he seemed like this emo kid for the majority of the movie, but I got it. It sucked to be Superman. Lex Luthor was garbage. Everything about it was garbage. I absolutely hated Jesse Eisenberg's performance of this. Dude, all the cringeworthy bullshit that he did from the get-go, even at the end when he's bald and starts looking like Lex and he's snotting and he's like, hey, he's coming, referring to Darkseid. Awful. Literally, I feel like one of the best things you can do to fix this movie is to just take him out of it. Just take Jesse Eisenberg out of this movie, rewrite the script. The script was weak. It was edited horribly. What the fuck, man? It's a $400 million movie. And I'm going to keep on saying that because that's a lot of damn money. And I know that did not go to the actors. That went to a lot of CGI, which was spotty at times. Doomsday CGI was good, and then it was bad, then it was good. Superman, at times when he's fighting Batman, you can tell he was a CGI character. And let's talk about the fight. I couldn't really talk about this too much in my spoiler-free review because it would kind of ruin it, I think, in my mind, but Batman and Superman being who they are, they could simply talk. There was no motivation for them to actually fight. It didn't make sense to me. Batman's motivation, him being the greatest detective, him being tricked into going after Superman, bothered the hell out of me. Going to that, one of the reasons why is because he has there's Nightmare Batman, his dream sequence, and apparently it isn't a dream. It's Flash wearing his Apocalypse gear, or not Apocalypse, wherever Darkseid's from, it might be Apocalypse. Apocalypse version of Flash. That was dope, but that is some deep cut shit that no one got, at least not in my movie theater. I specifically, I think I was like, that's Flash. I whispered it, so people around it started whispering to each other. I was like, oh, that's Flash. Oh, that. People didn't get that. And I like sometimes when movies do that, where they don't have to go out of their way to explain it, but that's what this movie was going for too much. Didn't try to explain what was going on. It just started showing you stuff, and it's just accept it, just accept it. And for a while you are, and then after a while I was like, okay, this doesn't necessarily make any sense. You could have been doing this better. Come on, guys. And I think that's the biggest issue, is having Zack Snyder directing it, because Zack Snyder makes these beautiful visual masterpieces, but the stories aren't necessarily there. Some of his strongest stuff is 300 and Watchmen. I loved Watchmen. I thought it was great. I thought the director's cut is better because it makes more sense. There's better pacing. He doesn't know how to cut down a movie. He doesn't know certain scenes aren't necessarily needed. You can take them out and a movie will flow a little bit better because you have someone sitting there and they're watching art. And if it's boring, it's boring. If there's a slow burn, it has to have a payoff. It doesn't necessarily always have one, and when it doesn't, a movie suddenly becomes bad. And because this movie is the clash of titans, it's Batman v Superman, and the whole fucking Justice League's in it apparently, for no need. There's no need. I liked it at the time, at the moment there, but looking back, completely not needed. You do not need to pitch me the Justice League movie. It can do that on its own. That's what trailers is for. What you need to do is make a good movie, so I'm excited for its sequel. What movie studios need to understand is that you shouldn't be worrying too much about the next movie. It doesn't matter if your current movie isn't that good. You should put all your energy into the current movie. And because it's this constant money grab, because these movies are so successful and they make so much money and they're so expensive, they mess themselves up. They trip over themselves. They trip over each other. And that's what this movie is. It is a great movie ruined by having too many people in the kitchen. And it becomes apparent to me with the sloppy editing, with way too many characters in it. Like, it's the same thing. It's the same issue that Spider-Man 3 had. It's the same issue Amazing Spider-Man 2 had. It's the same issue that Iron Man 2 had. It's sequels. You know, you see how they're all sequels? Because they're trying to make more money. Iron Man 2, I enjoyed it, but it had a weak villain, and it had constant cameos and Easter eggs for the Avengers movie, which was awesome. But, like, you gotta focus on your own thing. Like, there's people in the seats now. And, unfortunately, like, we're still gonna go watch the other movies. And that's why they get away with it. And that's why they get away with it, and they will continue to get away with it. And, like, that's why I'm so, like, broken by this movie to a certain extent, where it was great, and it wasn't at the same time. It was so black and white where it really felt like I was watching multiple movies. And one of the biggest issues with me for this movie, besides Lex, where I can just keep on talking about that, Superman dies at the end. But he doesn't stay dead. If you're going to do something that ballsy, you gain a lot of respect if you stay that way. Because you can just bring them back the next movie and do it very easily. Or even the way they did it, how the dirt started rising, if they just did like the heartbeat, or like the heart thing that shows the pulse of the heartbeat, that's something straight out of this comic book. And people are going to see that as a tribute and be more okay with it. And I've probably been more okay with it. But, you know, like, I knew he wasn't going to stay dead. Everyone knew that. Like, hell, even in the comic book, even in Superman Doomsday, he doesn't stay dead even in the comic book, so I know they're not going to do it. In conclusion, like, this movie is a wonderful mess, almost. Because Batman was so cool. And that's all I can really say to defend this movie. It was beautifully shot at times, but at other times it seems like they just kept on fading the black. I was like, please stop doing that. Like, you obviously can afford better editing, and that's why, at the same time, I'm really looking forward to seeing the director's cut. Hopefully it's a lot better. We will see. It might be worse, though.